What's going on YouTube? OCD3DC here. I'm joined by my lovely wife. Say hello.
Hi.
And we've got dogs that are whining and crying in the background that I'm going to strangle.
It's literally been the last 15 minutes trying to wrangle a dog and keep one quiet.
We have too many dogs and they're all being retarded right at the moment and just, Anyway, on to other things. We just received this knife in the mail today, and I already cut open the package, but we're going to take a look at it here in the box. This is the brand new CJRB J1918-REF.
Niner?
No niner.
Oh.
Well, there is a niner in there. J1918-REF.
Yeah.
All right. I can only assume that this comes with a little bit different packaging than just that. But this is how it came to me. I do believe that this is brand new. But let's take a look. Now, this was sent via... this was one of our kind of loyal followers of the channel won this in a giveaway. And then had it sent to me to do some work on it. And then I'm going to send it along to him. But it is this little guy or gal, however you want to look at it, I suppose. This is the CJRB Maileah, or something like that. Maileah. It's not Maileah. It's Maileah.
If you go by spelling, it's Maileah.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to go by because that's the way it's spelled. But anyway, you can see right here, this is... the Swags edition, whatever, which that's a whole nother topic. Blade centering is slightly favoring the show side. Let me check this out and see. Pivot might be a little bit loose. Let me see if I can tighten that up here. Yes, T8. Right off the bat, what I can tell you is the engagement with the screw is, we're going to call it subpar. Very, very little engagement. The way that they've made these screws, they put a little bevel on the internal portion of that Torx. And so it allows the driver to cam out real easily. There's just not much engagement. So what I'll tell you about that is that if you get one of these knives, make sure you're putting a lot of force in on the screw.
Strip that puppy right out.
Yeah, because you'll end up stripping that screw out. Faux show. Didn't really improve our centering at all, but I can probably get that worked out. Blade certainly is good now. There's definitely no blade play. So we've got little thumb studs here as well as a front flipper. And, kind of an interesting, for me, it's like a 2.5 finger knife. There is no, well, I guess you could kind of choke up on that. Personally, I would like it a lot better if you had a full-size choil there that you could choke up on. That would make it a lot nicer in my opinion. But again, this knife really isn't meant for me. Because it's way, way small for for my likings. So, what do you think of it? Put it in your hands.
I don't even want to touch it.
Oh, boy, jeez. So, is it comfortable?
It's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not. I mean, there's a lot better out there that I've held.
Okay, so you're not a huge fan?
It's really bulbous right here. And
it is.
It does not, it's not ideal.
It is very bulbous in the hind end. It's got a bulbous hind end.
Imagine.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're going to throw this up against a couple other small knives. So this is the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. And you can see here that we've got very, very similar handle dimensions, but a lot different blade length, if you will. Now, the actual cutting edge between these two are very, very similar. And just the overall size of these two are quite similar. With the Mini Sheepdog being a little bit bigger, but not much. They're really very similar in overall size, but in my opinion,
sheepdogs just put together better.
Yeah, the sheepdog definitely is a better knife in my opinion. You get more blade for what you got going here. Here is the Spyderco Urban. Again, very, very similar in overall size. More similar in cutting edge here between the Urban and the Maileah. Again, we've got, this is the Spyderco Lil Native, which the Lil Native, a lot of people, you know, smaller hands, the ergos on the Lil Native are excellent.
Blows the CJRB out of the water,
Okay,
in my
let's
opinion.
throw some of your personal blades out here. So we've got
the mini grip.
Yep. Benchmade mini grip. Grab another one.
Got another Benchmade for y'alls.
Put it down here. Here's the mini bug out. So get a good idea of the size here of this little Maileah.
Here's the Little Main Street concept. Little Main Street.
Yeah, and so you can see, you know, overall here, the Little Main Street is, again, almost identical in size, but the difference being that the Little Main Street is significantly smaller. You know, you can hide the whole entire Little Main Street behind the Maileah here. So, you know, a lot slimmer in pocket, and just a lot smaller, just all the way around. But when it's deployed, they're very, very similar.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's a lot slimmer of a handle where
For
you
sure.
got that bulbous booty hanging
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
And that totally affects
Okay.
all of it.
Yeah, for me,
How it feels. And I mean, I would take the Little Main Street over that as well, just because it feels,
yeah, you done like
Yeah.
And for me,
feels my hand funky.
It works okay in hand. I feel like for how small this knife is, that I'm back away from the blade quite a bit. It's just kind of an odd, like this whole shape to me would work, but it needs to be bigger.
Yes. Yes.
And that's my opinion of it.
It needs to be further back in the hand.
Yeah, it needs to get further back in your hand, and then this shape would work well. But the fact that it lands right in the middle of your hand, it's just, if you feel like you're holding on to the end of something, it's just kind of strange in that way. What else you got there?
Well, a big in.
This is the Para 3 lightweight. So just give you an idea of the size difference there. But all right, so the CJRB Maileah is, like I said before, thumb stud or front flipper. This is rocking the Artisan exclusive AR-RPM 9 blade steel. And this is a kind of an equivalent to 9CR 18 MOV, which is a fine budget steel. And I haven't done a lot of cut testing with it, but I will here at some point. But I think, it's going to be, like I said, in that 9CR range, which is, a decent-ish budget steel. You got the little red pivot collar, the red thumb stud, all that works just fine. To me, the aesthetics of this are just kind of strange because, so they did it with jade scales, JG10 scales, but then the black hardware and the black clip.
Did they make it with the intent that everyone would be dyeing these things?
Potentially. I don't know. I mean, they come in a whole bunch of different colorways. So
okay. Because that jade with red,
it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
It's just a little bit strange. So, it lends itself really well to dyeing, which I assume most people are going to do. You do have a lanyard point there on the back that's built into the pocket clip or the backspacer. Pocket clip is reversible for right or left tip up carry. And, a good little fifth pocket knife if that's your jam. And then one other relevant size comparison is the Damn Designs Gin. And you can see here, very, very similar. Again, these two are probably the most similar, really, because they're both, you've either got the blade hole or they're front flippers. And the Gin, in my opinion, works a little bit better just because the handle doesn't feel like you're going to fall off the back of it. So you've got, really nice thumb placement there. But still, this is not my go-to size of carry. But for those that are into this thing, hey, more power to you.
Let me hold this one. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That works better for you.
What's the word? It's secure.
Secure. So one of the big differences between these two is the thickness. You can see that the gin has much thicker body to it, but honestly, I feel like that helps in the grip of it because it's so short. I mean, it's really just a 2-finger knife for me, but because it's so short, having some extra girth to grab a hold of is a good thing. But yeah, so kind of interesting. We'll go ahead and tear this thing apart and take a look, but before we do that, let's figure out, I'm pretty sure this is a brand new knife, like I said. So let's see how well CJRB did on this RPM 9 blade steel and see what we're working with for a factory edge. Now, what we want to see, if you're not familiar with this test, we want to see something under 200 grams. Yep, you can see. Here, I'll turn the light on. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So, let's see where we're at here. Here we go. $150 on the Maileah. So not a bad factory edge. That's certainly very, very decent. And yeah, so that part's good. So we got T8 hardware on the pivot, and then T6 everywhere else, it appears. Like I said, just be careful of your tool engagement on the pivot screw. It's very shallow. The T6 screws are much deeper. These are, just purchased hardware, where the pivot screw is probably more of a custom made for this knife. And all right, so that's what you're working with. So it does have polished liners, and they're nested. There you go. Got a little oil on there. Nice little pivot collar. It is riding on ceramic bearings. So nylon washered ceramic bearings. Detent on this felt really, really good. Action is kind of what you would expect from a knife like this. And yeah, get this pulled out here. Oop, wrong driver. So we do have the screws in the pocket clip are flush, so they are countersunk, which is very nice. But the pocket clip itself is not countersunk into the liner or into the scale. It's just sitting on top of. But this knife is, a budget piece, and I think these are like $35. I don't know if there's any price variation for the different colorways. There may or may not be, but I'm pretty sure this one here is like $35. So, really, really cheap option for a nice little carry. If this is the size range that you like, then yeah, I'm sure it'll work well for you. Now, I am going to be dyeing these. These three pieces right here, they're going to dye very, very easy. Jade G10 or natural G10 dyes extremely easily. So we'll do that and take a look at it and see what this is going to look like after the fact. So I'll be back with you. All right, y'all, we're back in. And now we have some black parts. So we've got...
and a puppy has an itchy face.
And a puppy has an itchy face. Look at that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and throw this guy back together and see what we're working with. So it's kind of interesting the way they did the relief cut there for the lock bar. It works out extremely well, and so that's good. I have a feeling this is going to look significantly better with this color scheme than what it did before. However, I kind of feel like an acid washed blade would probably do this thing quite a bit of help. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The black is definitely the more important and
The black scales?
yeah, immediate change that was needed, in my opinion.
Yeah. So you don't think that having a black blade will do much for it?
I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
You don't
on that
have
part.
an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what this looks like once we get it back together here and find out.
It's too late for opinions.
It's too late for opinions, huh? It's past Molly's bedtime, so, you know, it's like 7:30.
It is not 7:30. It's 9:30.
It is not 9:30.
It's 9:27. Don't split hairs.
That clock's fast, though.
Shut up.
It's probably like 9:24.
Shut the hole in your mouth. I have to get some reading in because I'm an educated lady.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm using a little KPL heavy here on the detent. Dogs, you can hear, are running all over the house.
Walter's upset because it's past his bedtime.
All right. Get that on there. Oop. Right there. So when I disassembled this, you looked at that screw. Did you see what I was talking about? How thin or how shallow?
Terrible.
Right? It is pretty terrible. Like, yeah. It's one of the worst that I've come across, honestly.
It's just dangerous.
The Torx cutout is just very, very shallow in that T8. So, kind of interesting. Okay. So let's get the clip back on here.
He wants to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know if the colorways, I know that they offer the whole thing with red scales, but in my opinion, now that looking at this, having the black scales with the little pop of color on there makes a pretty big difference. Mm-hmm. It's just a way better looking unit like that.
Indeed.
You think so?
Yep.
You think it'd look good with the black blade or no? Or dark blade?
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters. So, yeah, I think it looks okay with the pivot screw. Yeah, I think it looks all right just like that.
Yep.
So anyway, that's your look at the CJRB Maileah. And all in, it's a tiny little knife that's a little bit odd to hold on to. Looks okay like this. I think it's an improvement on the aesthetics anyway. But yeah, not really my what I would carry, but you know, to each their own. You got anything left to say?
Congratulations, buddy, for winning the giveaway.
Yeah. Congratulations, Michael. This is your cool little Maileah here, and yeah, we'll get it sent off to you here shortly. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll catch you next time. We gone.
Good night.